Hey guys, what's up? I'm Morgan and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you tuning in to today's video. Make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you guys are liking the video by giving it a thumbs up. And we're going to get right into this video because today's video is all about how you can create an online business plan for your boutique. Now, the reason why you want to create an online business plan for your boutique, or a business plan in general for your boutique, is because you want to make sure you outline everything and every aspect of what you're going to be doing now and things that you want to do towards the future and towards growing your business. If you don't have a business plan, you're going to be all over the place. It's going to be really hard for you to be strategic in your approach when it comes to making sales, when it comes to your audience, when it comes to the tone that you set for yourself and for your brand. So creating an online business plan for the boutique that you are hosting online will help you narrow down everything and give you more of a clear insight on what it is that you need to be focused on. Before you get started in the process of going through your business plan and doing the outline, make sure you get yourself a pencil and a paper and not a pen and paper, because business plans always tend to change as you grow. So you want to go in and you be able to jot things down that are changing as you grow, but you still want to have the core concept of your brand story, and all those things that we're going to get into. So that way you can just change it. If you're using a paper and just a pencil to write it down, it's perfectly fine. I suggest you going in and using like a word processor, Google Docs, or something like that, so you can have a digital copy of it, and that way you can always just go into wherever you saved it and you can make corrections digitally. So let's get right into it with our first step. The first step that we're going to be talking about is your why. Okay, now people forget this step. You really need to understand your why. Like, what is your motivation behind starting a boutique? What is your motivation behind selling a product, whether that's a digital product or whether it's courses, classes? What is your motivation behind doing that? If you don't have a motivation for why you're doing it, you're just kind of doing it just because, you're not going to be very successful in the sense of gaining more attention the way that you should, because you're just focused on a money goal. Money is a goal. I hate when people say that it's not, but money is the goal from the hard work that you know that you have to put in. Not just, I want to make money, so I'm just going to start a brand, I'm just going to start selling products. That's not how it works. You really have to put in work to get the results that you want. So the first step is to write down your why. You don't have to make it too long. It doesn't have to be too drastic. It can literally be like 8 sentences, 5 sentences, but make sure it's very specific, because that's going to be your motivation for the longevity of your brand. So in the second part of your business plan, this is where you're going to take the most time. This is where you're probably going to need at least 1, 2, maybe even 3 pages, depending on how detailed you are. But this is where you don't want to sell yourself short. You want to make sure you put every single thing that comes to your mind in this part of your business plan. So the second part is developing your business structure. The business structure is super important because you really need to outline every single thing. So that way, after you do the structure, you're going to go into the next step. But right now, under business structure, you want to make sure you put very detailed information about the concept of your brand, your target audience, your description of the brand. If you're going to be selling wholesale, if you're going to be doing point of sale, if you're going to eventually want a physical store, you're going to want to put all of that. You also want to include your goals for your brand in this part of your business structure. And last but not least, you want to include your hours of operation. Now, as an entrepreneur, it's really easy to fall off track and really easy to dive into this crazy dark hole of non-stop work. Don't do that to yourself. I learned this the hard way, that even though you want to go and you want to hit those sales goals and you want to do all these things, if you don't get any sleep, you're going to start messing up a lot of stuff. So make sure you put in your hours of operation. Make sure you put in actual timeline of what you want to work, like what hours you want to work. That will help you stay productive more in the long run, rather than not setting yourself a schedule and you just working freely when you want to. But going back to all the other things, you want to put your goals in detail. What are the goals of your brand? The sales goals. What kind of things that you want to do? We're going to talk about that in finances, but you make sure you put your goals. Make sure you put the concept, your target audience, like what person you want to sell to. What is that person's life like? You want to put all of those things into the business structure and be very detailed. That's why I said you can spend hours doing this. You can spend days writing out this part. It's going to take you a couple of pages. That is fine, but you need to be detailed. So let's get into step number 3. All right, so in this step, we're going to be talking about finances, okay? There is no business plan without finances, okay? You need some sort of income. The people that are doing these videos and doing these classes saying you need absolutely zero money, like I said in a previous video before, they're probably doing drop shipping, but even in drop shipping, you need a little money. Let's just get that out there. But in finances, when you're doing your business plan, you should do finances pretty strategically. Here's some simplified ways to write down your finances. So the first thing you want to write down is, what is your current income? Meaning how much, if you have a job right now, what are you making hourly? What are you making weekly? What are you making monthly? And what are you making yearly? Those are very important things that you should already know. But if you don't, just go in and calculate everything and write all of those things down. After you do that, what you want to do is have a budget set in place. Like, how much can you actually save within 6 months? Okay, write down a savings goal for 6 months. And what you can do in order to make that savings goal is to put your money and deposit that money into a separate account. Don't deposit the money into the account that you use all the time. So, because you're just going to keep spending it. So write down how much you can actually save within 6 months. The next part, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. The next part you want to write down in your finances is product pricing. Okay, that's the last step in the finances. Write down product pricing. In order for you to know how much you can save within 6 months, and you have to already know, like I said, how much you're currently making. So once you have your savings goal, you have a savings goal in mind, so that in 6 months you have a set amount of money. You want to understand your product pricing, because product pricing is important. So you have to have a sales goal that is going to reflect the price of the products that you are currently going to be buying for your boutique, which are probably wholesale pieces, which is why I said in step number 2 under your brand structure, you need to be writing down, are you going to be selling wholesale pieces? Are you going to be manufacturing your pieces? You need to know the cost of those things so that you can write it down in finances. And in order to know the cost of those things, you have to go and do your sourcing. You have to know what vendors you want to use and all that type of stuff. So make sure you understand that, so that way you're not skipping steps. That's why I outlined this for you guys in the best way that I know to help you. So we're going in order here, okay? So that's all about finances, is knowing what you currently are making. Also knowing how much you can put aside for 6 months. And I'm just saying 6 months as a general guideline. You can definitely save for like a year out. You can even put savings aside for like 2 years if you plan on doing some very big elaborate type boutique or something. It doesn't have to be 6 months. I say 6 months because generally you can save money if you currently have an income. If you don't have an income, that's a whole nother story. What you should be doing is creating side hustles. You can have work from home jobs if that's something that is available in your area, like remote jobs that you can do anywhere. Again, that's a whole nother topic and video. Let me know if you guys want to know some side hustles that you can do to make some income, but that's a different topic. So that is step number 3, finances. Let's get into our next step right now. Okay, so step number 4 is going to be about marketing and management. This step happens to be my favorite when creating a business plan or creating some sort of outline for how I'm going to make sales within my business. So this one, when I talk about marketing and management, this is actually fun for me because this is where you get to be a little bit more creative with your brand. So in this part of creating your business plan, you want to also keep this separate. So keep it on a separate page from everything else, so that way you can flip through it and only see what you need to see. So on this part, when I talk about marketing and I talk about management, this comes down to every single thing that has to do with your personal branding, meaning your brand colors, your brand story, what fonts you're using, the layout of your website. Does it go hand in hand with your Instagram? You need to write down all the things that you need, or all the things that you want from your brand, like different colors, different fonts. You need to write all of those down and be very realistic about it. Like, put your brand colors. Make sure you write the color. Use a color pencil to make the color if that helps you out better. Make sure the brand story goes hand in hand with that type of vibe. Like if you have a chill brand and you know your colors are mostly like muted grays and tans and greens and things like that, you probably don't want your brand colors to be like red in yellow. You know, it doesn't make sense, and it's just a distraction from your audience. Your audience is going to be confused. So make sure everything is going hand in hand. Also within marketing, you want to make sure you outline what type of marketing you're going to be doing. Are you going to be running Facebook ads? Are you going to send people to landing pages? Are you going to be sending out emails? Be very, very direct in this approach, because it's going to set you up for a way smoother ride in the long run, so you don't have to backtrack and think about all the different type of things that you want to do. Within creating ads and landing pages and emails, when it comes to marketing, you need to write down those type of things as well, because it's important to understand what you're going to be sending people to. So like on Instagram, for instance, you can have a link in the bio, because you can't put links in your actual descriptions or captions. So the link in your bio, you can say, you know what, I'm trying to generate leads, which means that you should be probably focusing on sending people to your landing page, because your shop probably isn't open yet, or your shop is getting ready to open, and you need people to get on your emailing list, so that way you have actual traffic comes the time when you actually open your boutique. So it's a lot different. Now on your if you actually have your store already open, you might want to focus on Facebook ads, because Facebook ads can lead people from the ad, and it can target a ridiculous amount of people, by the way, and you can send all those people from Facebook ads to your website to actually shop. And then that's why I say you have to be very detailed in your approach, because on your Facebook ad, you can run test ads. You can send people to certain products if you have a bestseller, or you can send people to your actual just homepage on your website if you just want to get eyes on your website and get more people focused and learn a little bit more about your brand. So be very detailed in that sense, because that has to do with your customer reach. So you want to write down that as well. And that's why I say you need to know what type of person you're going to be targeting in order to even reach that type of person. That's why in the step, I believe it's on brand structure, you write down your target audience. You're writing a very detailed version of your target audience, so that we know exactly who you want to come to your brand, because you cannot run a Facebook ad without knowing your target audience, because you're going to be wasting money and losing money left and right, and it is no joke losing money. Okay, so also under that, you want to list down a team. Like if you have a team in place, who's involved within your brand when it comes to marketing and management. That's the management side. You want to know who's running what. Are you going to be hiring people off of a different website, like outsourcing them? Are you going to be hiring your friends? You need to write down every single person that you might have involved, or people that you feel like are going to be involved in the future, so that way you know how to build your team. So you might have a friend that's really good at Facebook ads right now, but you probably don't have the budget to do Facebook ads, but you want to write down that friend's name and put Facebook ad like manager or something, so that way in the future you can call up your friend and be like, hey, you know, I have a budget now that I want to work with. Do you think that you can help me out? So that's a part of building your team for the future. I'm currently doing that right now. I'm outsourcing a lot, but it's cutting down on my time, because I'm doing everything myself, because I basically self-taught myself everything. So now that I have a little bit more income flow, I can actually outsource and reach out to people like virtual assistants and things like that. So that goes all into your management, and just be very like specific. Let me grab my notes, because I think I'm missing one more thing. Oh yeah, under under marketing and management, one big thing that I think a lot of brands skip on is your shipping, packaging, and your web hosting. You want to make sure you put all of that inside of the marketing structure of your brand, because shipping and handling is big because of the packages that people receive. Do you want something recognizable? You have to put every single thing, write down everything. And that's why I said in finances, you need to know the prices of all these things, so that way you can put a budget aside for what you are going to be able to save, or what goal you're trying to reach when it comes to getting all this stuff together, because it does cost. That's why I say when people say it's absolutely free, they're absolutely lying. So let's get into the last step. Okay, so a really big part of building out your business plan, and this step is going to be the niche breakdown. This is super important, because you need to know who's who within your niche. You need to know like the big players. You need to know the up-and-comers that are coming in, because you can see how they're growing. You can see what's working for this company, what's not working for this company, and you can build your company into that fold, so that way you're a competitor within your niche. So write down all of those things. Write down the Instagrammers that you feel are within your niche. Write down the influencers that these brands that are in your niche that are using. Write down the type of people, because you can see how they're converting their sales from using influencer marketing. You can see how they're converting their sales from doing regular ads, because depending on the people that you're following, you're going to see the same type of thing all the time, which is great for just resources and research purposes. But you need to write down all these people, because these are the people you're going to be in the same market with. And if you don't know who these people are, it's kind of like you're walking in blind, you know. It's just smart research. That's what it is. It's market research. So in your niche, do a full niche breakdown. How big is your audience? Not your audience, but how big is your niche? Is it a very large niche? Is it a small one? Like I said, write down who's who in your niche. Write down how fast people are doing turnovers, how fast people are doing sales, because you need to know how your niche works. And I feel like a lot of times people try to go against it, and it's not the smartest thing all the time, unless you have just like a crazy idea. But most times it's really good to look at the way that your market moves, because that's how you're going to become a key player, because you already understand how the market is moving. Therefore, you don't have to do too many tweaks to the system that is currently in place that is working. You know what I mean? So just do that. Now, here is one more step. This is a bonus step, and this is going to be something really cool, because I feel like you need to know this. So let me tell you my bonus step right now. Okay, so the bonus plan, the bonus part of the business plan, is the you part of the plan. You really need to focus on your structure, meaning not the brand, you need to outline in this part, just title it structure me in quotes, so you know you're talking about yourself and not the brand. You need to focus directly on yourself. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, and how can you make them better? So that's why in the niche breakdown, you want to know everything about your niche and everybody in it, everyone that's involved, how it moves, how it flows, how income is coming in, how people are losing money within the niche. Because in your strengths and weaknesses, that's where you're going to carve out how you can be better at somebody else's downfall, or how you can gain more insight from how this person is doing so well. Write down all of those things. It's super important. Also write down opportunities. The opportunities are super big when it comes to the you part. Take opportunities, take risks with your brand, but don't be stupid with your finances. Okay, that's rule number one. Just don't be stupid with your finances. But write down all of those things. Write down the opportunities that come your way. Pop-up shops, events, trade events. Take these opportunities to go mingle and meet people within your niche, because you know that's just smart networking. Yeah, that's smart. But anyway, guys, that is the end of this video. I'm Morgan, and thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you like this video, and make sure you subscribe, because that's awesome too. And I love new subscribers. Go ahead down to the comment section below, because I always leave a question down there to try to engage with you guys and to encourage you guys to engage with me, because that helps this channel grow as well. If you really like this video, make sure you share it with a friend, okay? Share it with a friend. Share it on your YouTube, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me. My Instagram is linked below, as always, with all of my other links. And I will see you guys on my next video. Peace.